What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Put Up. I'm A.K.A. the Wizard, and this is where we hear the stories, the untold stories from all kinds of different independent artists all over the world. And today we have a special guest that's been here a couple times, actually. Mr. Luke Icard, how you doing, bro?
What's up, man?
Welcome back for the third time.
I know I guess I just am a chatterbox with the right people, so I don't know.
Well,
I
yo,
guess
and you
that.
saved our asses one time, right? When somebody didn't show up for it, and we had to like just call
Oh
you
yeah,
up and have you come, right?
I've kind of become the scapegoat, so it's all right.
Yeah, so we've walked through your entire story. Everybody that's watching today, go back and watch those other two interviews. You can learn all about Luke and what he does
Yeah,
and
for sure.
all of his experiences, mental health things, all kinds of stuff, right? Like we talked about so
Yeah,
much stuff.
yeah. That was some good nuggets in there.
Yeah, man. So those are available for everybody, but today we're gonna go off script a little bit because we've already done the interviews. So
Yeah,
we're gonna talk about some new stuff, right?
we decided to wing it, and we'll see if
Yeah.
that was a good decision or not.
So yeah, we might as well kick this off. Let's talk about your tutorial videos. You're starting to
Yeah,
make
for sure.
mixing tutorials, is that right?
Well, not really mixing. It's just I noticed there was a lack of like all the bigger channels do like production walkthroughs and they film themselves while they're making the beat. So I wanted to do something similar to that, but my channel is still small enough people can ask questions, and I'll respond, and you're just not like leaving a comment and then somebody else will respond. Like I'm actually small enough that people can go to my channel and I'll respond to like every comment. Like, and I'm always on my phone too, so um
Chronically,
you know
just
chronically just checking my YouTube tutorial channel. um but yeah, it's been fun. I had to get this program called Loopback Audio. It's by Rug Amoeba, I think is the name of the
shout out.
company. Yeah, it was $100, but it actually works, and I'm kind of glad I had to pay for it, so they'll still be around in 5 years.
Yeah, that's part of it,
uh,
right?
hmm
So yeah,
but
you have tutorial videos up on YouTube already that people can view.
I have about 30 videos so far on my tutorial channel, I
Nice.
think. So, and
And
it's
did you say
just
you have a Discord channel too that people can get like hop into privately or something?
uh Discord. I had one. I think I might have deleted it because nobody signed on to I just hop on to other people's discords. It's not really like I'm not that big yet enough for my own Discord server. But people that know me, they just either have my number or DM me on Instagram. So, it's not like I'm impossible to get in touch with or anything. So, um, but I'm just keeping it to the DMs, and um yeah, I mean, it's not that hard to find my Discord name. It's the same as all my social medias. So
Yeah,
if
and I,
somebody
I have to
really,
say, bro, like one of those things that you've done really well at as an independent artist and producer and everything is having that same thing across all your
yeah,
channels,
because
right?
that annoys the crap out of me when people don't have the same use, like they have their Instagram name and it's like a food blog. My Instagram's kind of becoming a food blog. And they're like, why don't you just make a separate food blog Instagram? Because then my followers will be at zero again.
They're expecting music. They come and see like the gourmet steaks getting cooked, you know?
Like, I posted a calzone on there the other day. I was just like,
I saw it. Definitely
Man,
saw that.
it was just like, and somebody commented, "Oh, this one doesn't look like Pompeii." I was just like, "Yeah, that's because I kneaded the dough for like 30 minutes, and now my wrists are sore, and I don't know how I'm gonna get it." Because it took me like 2 years to learn how to cook. Because I knew how to cook steaks on a grill, but I didn't know how to cook them on a pan until I started watching Max the Meat Guy, Guga
Max the meat
Foods.
guy.
Yeah, Max the Meat Guy does some crazy stuff. Guga Foods does these weird steak experiments, but um cooking is starting to show up in my life again because I'm just like I'm not paying inflation prices to go out to eat or especially when I can buy the burger ingredients for like less than $10 and it just doesn't make sense for me to pay like $15 to $20 for a gourmet burger when I can make a better burger and cook it the way I want.
Oh,
um
speaking about cooking, you're cooking up beats for a new album too, right?
yeah, that was a
So now
good
you can cook
segue.
food as good, yeah, as good as the beats, right? You can do both.
I guess so. I guess so. Yeah, but so this new album I started, um I wanted to do like a kind of journey because a lot of my life has been about mental health and illnesses and things. I had seizures when I was little.
What? Okay.
Yeah. And I just kind of grew out of those thankfully, and now it's all about mental health and schizophrenia. And I just recently got diagnosed with autism uh back in August. Um but I think the thing with that, it just explains all of the weird things that I do and how I like things a certain way. And I did get re-diagnosed with ADHD as well. So I kind of wanted to put all those experiences into one conceptual work. And I went to see Trans Siberian Orchestra with my mom
Oh, that's
around
dope. Yeah.
Christmas time, bro. It was so sick. And I kind of got inspired from because the first half of the show is like they tell a story and they have like a narrator, and I was like, what if I narrated my whole album and I did some effects and pitching on my voice and stuff like that. But um yeah, I wrote a whole story. I was spitballing with ChatGPT. I was like, is there a racer called Racer One? And he's like, no. So yeah, Racer One kind of stems from feeling alone once you start getting sober and just all around like staying away from drugs because you feel like you're the one. You feel like you're alone in that sense. um but the Racer One script came from my manager. She wanted me to get some car commercial songs, and I was mainly just looking at it from like a Foley perspective, and then I started thinking back to Trans Siberian Orchestra, and I was like, because I had the Foley already done before I did the narration, and I was like, what if I made like a little story, and then it evolved in like 12 songs, and then 15 songs, and then 23 songs. So um, it's going to be a pretty hefty release for sure.
Nice.
Um, but I'm definitely pretty excited about the album project. Um, so I am still trying to get my first placement. So
Right.
um,
And you talked about
yeah,
that in your other interview, I think, too, right?
yeah,
You might have
yeah,
touched on that, right?
yeah. I think once I get a few placements rolling, it'll be a lot easier for me to keep getting them, if that makes any sense.
I think it is
Um,
always the case, yeah.
because it tends to snowball once you get one, then other people see it and reach out, and it's like, oh hey, you can contact my manager. She'll put you in the right direction. So yeah, Racer One kind of evolved into this lone racer that searches for civilization. But he ends up being the only human left, and he doesn't realize that till the end of the story. And there's a few narration lines in the album that basically depicts like certain mental health issues I have or I've seen other people have. Like schizophrenia and bipolar. There's one where he's like just randomly talking. I don't know. I think it's kind of funny the way I have it set up, but
Well, and you called it a concept album, right?
yeah. And
Like the
I
entire
looked up,
thing.
I looked up the definition of a concept album, and I think as long as each song ties into one another, like because they even said, I think as long as you have some narration on each track, then it could be considered a concept album. The songs themselves don't really tie in together like that, but I think um the reason I called it a concept album was because it had a story, and I think that's what uh a lot of artists are missing is like an actual story in
That
their
goes
album.
throughout each track, right? Like it's
Yeah,
telling a
yeah,
bigger
and
picture.
Racer One is different because uh the this is so funny. So I wrote the songs and the titles, and I wrote the story based on the song titles that I still picked to be in the story. Um,
Interesting.
so there's one. It's like happiness over joy, and like I just said, like Racer One got out of his car and started dancing. It was so funny and so weird at the same time. I was like, yeah, that's something I would do. Just get out of the car and not give a damn.
Like a Chinese fire
Uh,
drill at a red light.
I just I really feel like Racer One will be the chance I have to compete with the bigger folks. Because a lot of people are still releasing 10-song albums, and they're not looking at what the big guys are doing. They're drop Skrillex just dropped like 60 songs not too long ago.
Wow. That's
Um,
actually massive.
yeah, and everybody's being a little more artsy because AI is making it easier to make a song, but nobody's realizing that the bigger guys are starting to tell a story than just it's like, hey, here's 10 random songs that I pulled out of my butt. It's like, okay.
Right. And it takes a little more skill, a little more
Yeah, because
thought process to do something like that, right?
you have to make a storyline, and you have to make the storyline make sense. And I've spent this last week like cutting out songs. I think
Interesting.
the final track list was at like 23 by the time I was done. I had to drop 2 songs. One of them I couldn't get the mix right on, and then the other one just didn't really make sense for the story, and I didn't feel like rewriting the narration, so I just dropped it. Um,
Well, and this is the other thing about like the AI era, if you want to call it that too, right? Is the
mhm.
fact that you're taking that time to toss a song out that you don't think is good enough for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Where
yeah,
like
and
on the other half, they're just spitting them out by the thousand. You know what I mean?
yeah, and that's why they call it AI slop because it's just honestly like, okay, here's another one that it took me
Almost
like
one.
5 minutes to write. Like, I understand why some people use AI, and this is getting into the gray area. But I understand why some people use AI and some people absolutely hate it because it's just like politics, and not to get political, but it's either left or right, and it's either AI or no AI. It's just like that's kind of a funny way to compare things.
AI is like the
um,
government, eh? You either
yeah,
love it or
AI
you
is like
hate it. That's it.
yeah, for real. Um, but we had that big snowstorm come through.
Right. Yo, tell everybody about it because I was watching that. Remember, I told you that same day, right? And I was like, bro, that's the same system from my house to
I,
yours.
you were like, uh, the system is like 2,000 miles long. I was like, there's no way that.
It was, bro. But
And
yours was way worse, right? Like you were getting like an ice storm there or something like
we were
that, right?
getting mainly, we got mainly freezing rain, and my friends in Nashville, they got all the snow and ice, and they're still shut down, I think.
I saw pictures of that. Yeah, like
Um,
down trees and all kinds of shit,
yeah, there's
right?
like down trees and power lines and everything. So,
Man,
um, I'm thankful all my people are okay over there. Um, but I did spend that snow day setting up OBS and loopback.
So you could do all those tutorial videos like moving forward, right?
Yeah, that's why if you
Nice.
look on the tutorial channel, I posted like 3 videos in one day. I was like, I'm just bored. I'm not going anywhere because I'm snowed in. So I have these rules I made for loopback and digital audio. So in loopback, you have to lower the volume on all the digital outputs, or else you'll get clicks and pops because it'll just sound like distorted and crunchy, like you know how it does whenever you get it too loud or the sample rate is messed up and you get those little crackly noises. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, like
Um,
buffers are set wrong and you just
yeah,
have
like the
like
buffer
errors in
size
the
is set
audio.
wrong.
Right.
Um, and then so I have lower volume on all digital outputs, and that's just basically headroom and it's just mixing basics really. Um, but then I had to change the sample rate of Ableton to 48 kilohertz, and the system audio is also 48 kilohertz. But I'm running OBS audio at 44.1
What?
kilohertz.
Okay.
Yeah. Because if I streamed at 48 kilohertz, OBS could not keep up and run Ableton at the same time.
I can't stress
Um,
this enough because we just had an issue with a mix actually where in Mac specifically you can have your system's like clock rate set differently than like
yeah,
Pro Tools or whatever, right? And then he recorded the audio, but when I received it, it was slowed down. You know what I mean?
yeah. So he
And it
probably
was like,
recorded
yo,
at
it's wild.
48 kilohertz
Right.
and exported it at 41 kilohertz.
And like I couldn't
um,
convert it because of the way that his system was set up. It took forever to figure out, bro. Yeah, it
jeez.
was wild. Yo, everybody that's using these systems on Mac, make sure that your sample rates match on your recording
Yeah,
software compared to your home interface or whatever, right?
make sure your sample rates are matched unless you're trying to do something like I am.
Yeah, I think
But
OBS would be the exception, maybe.
I think OBS will be fine at 44.1 kilohertz. Um, but I also made another rule that says when buffer size is greater than 1024, we'll have issues.
Hmm.
um, and
Which I have this
then
weird interface that can go up to like 4096, I think.
what? That's
Yeah, and like
crazy.
the apps don't even recognize it at that point. You know what I mean? I don't know
Yeah, because
why. I don't know what it would be
it's
used
too
for.
advanced. You're too advanced, bro.
I don't know. I just couldn't make it
um,
work.
but and then when you do get buffer size errors, turn off and on the digital interface. Now with loopback, you can have each program is like a think of it like a suitcase inside of a suitcase. Like because you've got let's say Firefox is one suitcase, Spotify is one suitcase, and Ableton is one suitcase. So I've got the virtual interface merged with my Apollo interface, and I've got an aggregate interface running into loopback. So I can control the volume from each program. There's this thing called mute when capturing. I think that works better when it's not selected because if you're recording and you're trying to use the click track, sometimes the click track will phase out. It's a little bit buggy, I think, still.
So like this
Um,
loopback software is like an answer to having almost like an internal mixer on your computer for all your different like sound
yeah. So
sources, right?
I've always wanted a program that can um control each of the programs. Like I had this one called I think it's called background music. But you can't really route audio like that. But Loopback was, I think it was. I don't want to share false information. Um, Loopback worked with the company that made what was that one? You're on Mac, right? Do you remember that one audio program? Um,
I Bought this thing called
I
Blue
think
Cat Patchwork one time that does a similar thing.
that's kind of similar. It's
Right.
more for like VSTs though.
Yeah, you could add
Um,
plugins onto like your Windows audio and shit. Like it was crazy.
but
And
I
like just
think
run whatever you want live off of that. It was nuts, man.
hold on, let me Google this because this is gonna bug me if on a loop.
But I remember like setting up this entire thing for the put up and everything, right? And it was like I downloaded 4 or 5 different things to try and have full control over the
Oh yeah,
output, right?
it's freaking insane.
Yeah, so anybody trying it out there that's trying to do this same thing, go and look at Loopback, right?
Yeah,
Seems to be
loopback
the answer to all that stuff.
loopback is hold on. Where's the loopback page? Loopback in softsonic.com. It used to have it when you clicked on the loopback page, it'd be like looking for this specific program. Like I can't for the life of me remember the name of that old program, but you could like change the output of the program to go virtually somewhere else. And that's kind of Loopback took that idea and made it so that the company will be able to stick around. Because I think that that old thing I'm talking about, it's not as to be a Mac program anymore. Like they didn't pay their license fee or whatever the thing.
Dang. Well, speaking of
um.
programs being around, Native Instruments, right?
Oh yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
So, like, I saw another, just so anybody else knows that might not know, I saw this post just yesterday or the day before where, like, Native
Post
Instruments,
Malone.
right? The VST company forever. Like, we all own it, right? As engineers and, like, producers.
I think everybody has at least one Native
Right.
Instruments
Contact,
product.
right? Like, something like that, right? So, like, they
Mm-hmm.
apparently are entering insolvency. So they're in hot water with their bills or whatever, man, for that. But I guess today the CEO came on and said that everything else is going to be running because they also it's like an umbrella corporation that owns a bunch of audio brands. So like Plugin Alliance, Brainworks, and a couple others are like
Yeah,
looped in with it too, right?
it's even because Brainworks makes the UAD plugins.
Right.
Um,
And like they were
yeah,
heavily like promoted on Plugin Alliance as like those like packages and stuff you could like subscribe to, right?
yeah, for real.
But yeah, so I
Um,
guess I don't know what's gonna happen, man. Are they gonna be around in another couple years, or like is
well,
AI taking it
I
over? Like,
think
what's happening, bro?
I think what I think is going to happen is somebody's going to buy Native Instruments and they're either going to just clean house and uh RIP everyone's jobs, or they're just gonna take it in a new direction because I think they had so many good little nuggets of ideas that um they didn't know what to focus on. Like Machine was good, that was good, but they tried to
Contact,
make
right? Because like third-party companies were able to like
yeah, yeah,
input their sounds into that sampler and become like probably bigger than Contact. You know what I mean?
yeah. So I think what I would do, I would make the contact stuff open source.
Right.
Uh
Because right now you have to get licensing and like make NKI files for all of your plugins you want to run inside of it. Like it's
because if you
very
made it
tight, right?
if you made it open source, everybody could profit off of contacts libraries. You wouldn't need a million people recording sounds and stuff for it constantly. You could let the artists and the producers record sounds for contact like that if you made it open source and made it so everybody could create an NKI file, and it would be a licensing nightmare. But if you wanted to sell it, you could contact an I and be like, hey, I have this library, can I sell it on my website? I'll give you 10%, or I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, because
um
right now I believe like companies like 8DO, I just know them because they had like an amazing it's called like Angel Guitar or some shit that you could run in
uh-oh, you
Contact.
disappeared.
I did?
Oh no.
Come back.
Hello. Oh, okay, good.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. I think
Sweet.
the other user took over the uh your screen for a second.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Who else is here with
The
us?
the the you the you user.
Well, yo, I think we're gonna go and hear one of your tracks from that concept album, bro.
All right. All right.
Yeah, I think we have Take Control first.
Yes.
So, yo, tell everybody about that track, and then we'll go hear it. And then I think you got like a screen share that you're gonna show us after that,
Yeah,
right?
so I am going to show the project file for that one. Um but fun fact, I had a cold for like a month and I was trying to record the narration lines and my voice kind of sounds like this nasally deep voice cuz I was sick at the time and I've been trying to recreate it but I honestly can't. I need to catch a cold so I can
Continue.
re-record it.
So we get a
But
unique sound out of the voice, right?
yeah, right. Cheat code. But I think with Take Control, I just I wanted it to be really grimy because it's about taking control, like the narration, you'll hear it. It's like taking control of your mind and not letting your emotions cloud your decisions. So um and there's some cool screamo vocals I did because I got a new microphone. Um,
Nice. What kind of mic is it?
it's a Dockman 87i.
So like a remake of a Neumann 87, right?
Yeah,
Kind of
so
thing, yeah.
the reason I got the Dockman was because I was just growing tired of I had an Audio Technica 2020 for like 30 years. um
And there's definitely better to be had, you know what I mean? Like it's a good
yeah,
starter mic, but
yeah,
I have a
it's a good starter
4040 in
mic.
here.
But I was starting to hear issues with it. I was like, man, I don't want to drop $600 on a mic. And then I found out about Dockman, and I researched it for like 6 weeks. But I'm gonna keep talking, so we're just gonna go ahead and play the song, I guess. But yeah, the Dogman can be a whole nother segment if you want.
Yeah, you can hear the sound of it right now. Let's roll it.
Yeah, you're. I've got a little bit of plugins on it, but not much.
Sweet. Yeah, roll that.
Anger and confusion didn't do Racer 1 any good, so he closed his eyes and a calmness came over him. While his eyes were closed, magic started to happen. Take control.
Welcome back to the
Okay,
put up, everybody.
screen-
Whoa. I'm A.K.A. the Wizard. Like, share, and subscribe below if you're just joining us. And yeah, we're gonna get into the screen share thing. I want to see how this track was made that you just heard right here.
Yeah, let's go.
I don't know if we see it. I think we see it up on the screen now.
Is it? It should be up there.
Sweet.
I see it.
Okay, so walk us through like the production of it. We're gonna hear a little bit of it too.
Hey, how do
Like,
I move?
How did you make it?
So I first made the beat. It started its life distorted to hell and back. Like, no lie, like, I've got Voice of God and API stuff on the drums.
Right, did I see that you were like exclusively only gonna use an API EQ or something from now on, right? Did I read
Like,
that?
yeah, I did both. Dude, like, okay, so before we get into the mastering side of it, I just want to play the drop part because it's basically just an 808 and a dubstep bass lead I got from Spice. So I'm gonna mute these two sounds and you can kind of see how they, because with dubstep and drum and bass, it's a lot of call and response.
Yeah.
And so it like asks a question, and then the 808's like, yeah, sure, I'll play along. But
I never thought of music
you know,
like that right away, you know?
yeah.
It's like this little like story going on within there. They're talking to each other.
Yeah, so let me see. Everything's so okay, here we go.
Well, that's crazy, eh?
And then I'll let you
Because it
whoa.
goes back and forth like that.
And then I'll let you hear my raspy freaking voiceover.
And this is through the Dashman mic with the voice
The
of God on it,
Dockman.
right? Dockman.
Yeah. Will it let me share my UAD console or no? I guess we can do that later.
I don't see it, man. I don't know if it's up right now.
It says I'm sharing my entire screen. Can you see that?
Nope.
Damn.
Either
Well,
way,
anyway.
just explain what's happening. Yeah.
So, on my channel strip, I've got an LA 6176, and with this one you can switch between the 1176 and the LA 2A, and I've got it on the LA 2A compressor. And I'm boosting the crap out of 4.5 kilohertz because that's where all the consonants in my voice like to stay. And then I've just got a noise gate, a de-esser, and this API 550A EQ.
Is that like the graphical one? Where it's like the little like fader things that move back and forth?
This one is the that's the 560 you're thinking of.
Okay. This one has knobs,
I'll show you.
right?
Yeah, this one has like knobs. The 560 is more of like a broadband EQ. But yeah, and then after the API EQ, I've just got Little Lab's Voice of God. It's set to 10 and 10.
Yo, did you say that it's on your voice right now too as we're talking?
Yeah, it's on my voice right now, bro.
It's like mayo. Right, you just put it on a sandwich every time. You know what I mean?
You just put it on your vocals and it sounds good. But here's my raspy. I do have track spacer. Oh, I did want to mention track spacer because it pretty much makes, because you know when you have vocals, you want it to sit right in the track.
Right.
So I've got one of these track spacers going to the music bus and one of them going to the Foley bus. But we'll hear the take control vocal.
Take control!
Oh yeah, there it is.
Take control!
And I've actually just got OTT on here, surprisingly.
Take control!
Because if we
Take control!
Take
control!
bypass OTT, it kind of sounds rough without OTT, but if you put OTT on the vocals, which I've been doing more of,
take control.
You can kind of get that.
Yeah. It's nice for everybody to be able to see like all these little steps that one takes to get
for
a
sure.
vocal to sound that way, right?
Yeah. Where's I'm trying to find the one where I was like control.
Open up your minds and take control.
That one's just got Pro Q on it.
Open up.
Oh, here it is.
Control.
This sounds so creepy.
Oh yeah. Like Halloween vibes up in there.
Yeah. So on that Vox group, I've just got the 6176, and this one is set to the 76 mode. But let me see how much. Yeah, I don't really ever go by, oh, it only has to be -3 dB compressed or the gain reduction or what. I just go by sound and feel. But I did want to also point out these
It's kind of like mixing with your ears instead of with your eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that kind
exactly.
of idea.
So this Foley, let me play it. Awkward.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's wild.
Because see, it's about the car fixing itself. So I've found this little glitchy drum and bass loop. And I timed it to be in sync with the song, so it just sounds incredible. I was like, I didn't do anything
really
but
awesome,
time it. Yeah. And then
I have a sound effect like that, I think.
Yeah. And then most of my songs are pretty yeah. Most of my songs are pretty simple. I separate everything into groups. The effects, lead, drums, bass, another lead. What is this? Sometimes I add like background elements. Yeah, this bass lead is the crazy one. But that, yeah. Let's see if I can go to the actual yeah, so I found this plugin called Subtech, and I wanted to mention this. Shout out Canvas Audio. He reimagined the Pultec trick.
Okay. Tell everybody what the Pultec trick is.
So the Pultec trick is on the warning label they shipped with the original interfaces. It said do not boost and attenuate at the same time. And what did everybody do that saw that warning label? They boosted and attenuated at the same time, and it gives this like weird clarity to the basses. And you know, I just got
I believe it like shifts the phase of like where the bass curve is happening or some shit, right?
Yeah, because
kind of in between where the settings are, right?
Yeah, because I've got it set to like 68 hertz, and there's a distortion and a clip knob even. Because if I were to turn this clip on, it gives it that sheen, but I thought it was sticking out too much, so that's why I turned the clip off.
That's wild, eh? So using the Pultec trick to like shape the sound of the bass, then, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Just to hyperdrive that thing.
And I really like the 6176 for shaping like broadband sounds, like when you want to go real crazy instead of using OTT. just use something different. But I did want to go over my aux returns real quick.
Thanks for showing us
Because
this, by the way, because I don't think
I've
a lot of people like see the
yeah,
engine compartment behind a song, right? Like we're constantly in
no,
these
it's like
things
you
making it.
you hear a song and you're like, oh, that sounds cool, and nobody tells you how you made it.
Right.
um,
Yeah, it gives
but
perspective to the average person watching, you know?
yeah, but I have 6 different reverbs, actually 9 different reverbs. Um, this is more of like a I still use Valhalla, like I was saying in my first interview. I haven't let go of that one yet.
I have a question for you.
um, yeah, what's up?
Do you preset up all 9 of these reverbs when you go to make a song, or is it kind of something that you're throwing onto it
Uh,
just as you hear what it needs kind of thing?
it's in my template when I open up a fresh, so
So
I
it's
don't
kind
have
of
to
there to send
set
to
it up.
any time, right? Like all 9 of
Yeah,
them. Right.
and I did want to mention too. I've also got some distortion buses. Let me see if I can find the drums. Well, I'm gonna
Here
play
they
it
are.
without. I'm gonna play it without the grit bus, and then I'm gonna enable it, and you'll be able to tell a huge difference. It just bought up the hi hats really. Um, but yeah, it's just little things like that, and then you can go even crazier with your compression. Um, I like Baby Audio plugins, and
We're gonna have to tag them all in this episode just so they
yeah,
get
we're
a
gonna
little
have to
big heads
tag
up.
them all. Pick up some sponsorships. Maybe they can give me a few months on my subscription. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much it for this song. I don't really stick to a specific color coded pattern. I know that might annoy some people, but there's some things my autism and ADHD doesn't like to do, and color coding is one of them. So, um, but
I find if I'm
yeah,
in like a really complex mix that I have to like color code like vocals together and
yeah,
stuff just to be able to see it. But like for the most part, they're just kind of the color that came up on the program when I opened it. You know what I mean?
because for the most part, like my tracks are only like 8 to 10 elements, like including the effects.
Very simple, yeah. Like I've seen tracks that are
And
50 tracks deep. You know what I mean?
honestly, most of the work is coming from these aux returns, and I feel like people give Ableton crap because they don't know how to set up their aux returns. I'm like, if you had the same aux returns every song, you would start to sound similar in all your productions because you were using the
Right.
same things. And people don't understand that if you start from scratch every time, you're just going to sound like you started from scratch every time. Like if you have a template, that will save like half of the work you have to do, at least like 80 to 90% of the work you have to do every
Okay,
time.
secret time, secret time. I
Yeah,
start from
secret
scratch
time.
every time. But there's a
Oh
caveat to
shit.
that. I do the same 18 things every single time to set it up.
Oh no.
I'm because like you when I mostly do like mixes that people send in and they're all kinds of different formats from like full stem
Mhm.
structures to single beat files to whatever, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like I put the same reverbs on vocal most of the time, like close, you know, like the same plugins at least with different like presets and things, right? But it's like I'm always setting them up in different ways, so I'm just like I'm not
Why
gonna
don't
put it
you
in a
just make a
template.
template? Just
I don't
import
know. It's just
the
then I feel like I'd
settings
mess it
every
up,
time.
like pulling everything in. You know what I mean? Like
No, you just gotta be more astute.
it's a weird quirk of mine, but I could like set up the same 18 things like lightning. Like you'd be like, whoa, how'd you even get all that shit up on there that fast? You know what I mean? Because I've
Do you
done it
use a
like 1,000 times, right?
do you use a trackball, or is it more like
No, I'm on a
uh
mouse, just a regular ass clicky mouse, man.
just a regular PC mouse?
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty impressive. You know,
Ask my brother. He watched me. He'd probably be watching this when it airs, you know? And he's literally like in the back here the other night and he's like, "Holy shit, what are you even doing?" You know what I mean? Like he got lost halfway through it cuz I was just mixing a beat, right? Yeah, it was wild, man.
well, I will say if you do the same 18 things every time.
Oh yeah.
I would maybe set up a Pro Tools session that has those same 18 things in it, and you can just import those
I
tracks
guess,
into
yeah,
a
like
new.
know how many tracks there are and just add audio tracks into that template
Just
that's already
just
there. You know what I
say,
mean?
oh, I
Like,
usually work with every song usually has drums, bass, guitar, and vocals, and maybe a keyboard or something. I don't know what you usually
no, but I'm talking like the
run,
one I
but
got the other night, right? It literally was like,
oh yeah.
bro, it started with like the master beat file that was all messed up that we had to fix, right? And then it was
Mm,
like a synth and then like a guitar part and then like it was just so random. You know what I mean? It's always out of sorts when I get them.
yeah.
Just the way the beat makers, the different ones that make them, right? And it's like I just pulled them in and like they're in random spots. A lot of the times I'll start with like drums and move them up to the top and stuff. You know what I mean? But this one
Yeah,
had
see,
like, dude, 14 tracks deep into this
I see what
session
you're
is
saying,
like
yeah.
there's 3 drum tracks sitting there again, and you're like, what the fuck? And then there's bass below it. And you're like,
Because a lot of times, like, people ask me why I use templates, and I'm like, imagine if you were a painter and every time you had to paint or you got inspired to paint, you had to run to the store
grab paint,
to get
brushes,
paint
right?
supplies and brushes. But
I totally
template
understand
users
it.
template users already have the paint and brushes and the uh easel or whatever in their
And a
in their
stock of
apartment.
colors sitting there on the
They
shelf, ready
already
to go,
have,
right? Like,
yeah. So just think of it like being a painter, because we are painters too if you look at it like from a
essentially, yeah.
artist perspective.
Especially
But
mixing, right? Like you're doing this like reverbs and delays, and you're not gonna go
yeah,
buy a reverb plugin every time you need to put a reverb on a track,
and
right?
you're not gonna be like, oh, I need this. Like, I picked Valhalla and I'm gonna stick with Valhalla because it suits my sound.
Right.
And I think the only other room, I did want to mention these room reverbs. So I'm using Perfect Room 2 from Denise Audio. Um, it's just very clean, crispy. And I do have this plugin called Sidewinder. It keeps things in phase, and it has like this nice phase meter.
Nice.
Um, and before Sidewinder, I put a utility on there so I can change the width of the reverb. Because sometimes it'll go too out of phase on the Sidewinder, and you gotta rein it in a little bit. Um, but I also have coloration plugins like the Sentry Tube channel strip, like
It's so
in the Shep.
interesting to me because like you use the same tools as me, but they're totally different plugins. You know what I mean? Like for a Widener,
Yeah,
I always use like Ozone Stereo Imager, stuff like that. You
yeah.
know what I mean?
I used to use Ozone products, but I only use those for like 2-track stuff.
That and like waves. What the hell is it? Stereo Widener or whatever. You know what I mean? Like certain ones.
Mhm.
It's crazy,
Yeah, for
bro.
sure.
So there's another one called Sidewinder that does a similar thing, then, right?
Yeah, so Sidewinder, I think it's a JST audio plugin. I don't,
Okay.
somebody will have to correct me if I'm wrong. But there's like different modes, and you can adjust the width and the tone. You can make it brighter or darker. Um,
It's almost got like
it's
an EQ going on the sides or
yeah,
whatever. Yeah, yeah.
I find it's cleaner than just the Ozone stuff. But um, I was trying to see if there was anything else. Yeah, for the compressors, I'm just using an 1176. I've got the Denise Audio My Crush and some tape stuff.
I got a couple
Uh,
questions for you about mixing, bro.
yeah, what's up?
Shifting gears like a little bit. Almost the same thing, but close. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, like, thinking about when you do a mix for somebody else when they've sent you the files or whatever, right? Like, what
Mhm.
is the first thing you're listening for or doing in that mix when you start one?
Um, the first thing I'd listen for when I mix for somebody else,
Yeah.
um, I would say definitely the types of sounds they used, and do they actually fit with the project? Because basically I'm listening for can I take this production and not do any sound design? Because if they're not the best sound designer, then maybe they need to work with me from scratch, and we can. Because if somebody works with me from scratch, then I can get them a good product, and mix on the go and make decisions that will suit the song more than somebody who records it themselves, sends it to me, and then I have to do all this back end stuff on sound design because they didn't choose the right pad, they didn't use a low pass filter, they didn't high pass anything. Or actually, I haven't been high passing much stuff lately. On the Racer One album, I was mainly using a low shelf filter. Because shout out Eric Iverson. I don't know if you've seen him on my post. He's like,
I
don't
did
use the
actually.
high pass filter. And don't use the high pass filter. I'm like, oh geez.
Okay, fine. Use a low pass filter only. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Yeah, bro, for sure. But was there anything else you had? Any other mixing questions, or like
Yeah,
what?
bro. Like your order of operations in the mix. So,
So
like, what are you gonna do first? What are you gonna do second? How do you get to that final product finish?
it depends, because if I'm mixing for somebody else, I'm gonna start with the drums and the bass because I feel like it's a lot easier to build around a good
Which is
foundation.
actually, honestly, I'll tell you, like, because you went to mixing school, I think, right? And
Yeah,
it's
full
like,
sail. Yeah.
yeah, like when you get to mix on a big SSL console, like those big $250,000 machines, right? That's how you do
Mhm.
a mix. You always put the drums first and then your bass, and you work your way up the frequency spectrum, right? Just as a way to organize yourself on a big board like that. And it kind of helps you with gain staging for the final mix. Just doing that, starting with all those
Yeah,
like
because
frequency
I
heavy
tend,
instruments, right?
I tend to start with the loudest instrument, whether that's a guitar solo or if it's EDM, like producing EDM is a little different than mixing in regards to EDM. You can start from a melody or a drum loop or a weird glitchy loop like I did for this song. Um, but I just was like, I think the main thing is there's no one way to do things. So this is why I like to layer my choruses so full. When somebody starts to say, "Oh, it sounds too full. We need to take away some of this stuff." I'm like, that's the part when you need to build the intro and the verse and the build and stuff. Um, I've also evolved into writing the chorus and then immediately writing the build, so you have something to get excited over, and you're not uh
Mm.
randomly trying to do things in the ADHD way.
It's like, here's
um,
the final thing. How do we get there, right?
yeah, so if you start from the final product, that's why people when they're first starting out, they're like, I can write these great verses and intros and builds, and I don't know how to write a drop. I was like, well, that's because you're not starting from the drop.
Right.
um,
Kind of like know where you're gonna get to first before you write that stuff, right?
yeah, right. Um, but M is mold and shape the build into the chorus. Refine the build into the drop transitions. Refine other transitions. So basically, that's like adding effects and leveling and automation. Um, and then begin is B. Write intro last. So the intro is usually the last thing I do, surprisingly. um,
The very last
uh,
thing says begin. I love it.
yeah, and it says begin, and there's a picture of a little stick figure climbing.
Nice. That's perfect.
And then I had ChatGPT make a digital version. Do I have anything else in here? Oh, this is just Racer 1 stuff.
Well, yo, let's let them hear what you mean. We're gonna play that second track, bro. I have what is it called? It's called something. Are you clocking? Tell everybody about Are You Clocking before we roll that one, bro.
Are you clocking? Let's go.
A giant clock appeared out of nowhere, beckoning Racer 1 to drive against it. Racer 1 never gives up or lets you down. Challenge accepted.
Welcome back to the Put Up, everybody. I got Luke Icard with us today for the third time. And we've been talking about everything and anything today, bro. I love it, actually.
Dude, I'm gonna start coming on more just to shoot the shit. So it's definitely fun.
Man. Yeah, all the time, right? And like everybody go check out his tutorial videos. I'm sure there's tons of information inside of there too, right? Like,
oh yeah, of course.
Man. But yo, okay, before we go today, just a couple random questions for you because I had them down. Plugin. Which one would you save in a fire if you could only save one?
The LA6176.
That's the one, eh? Okay.
Yeah. Or OTT. It's kind
OTT. That's an interesting one to me because I have like a Slate version of it. I was like, what the fuck does this thing do? Because it's a wild plugin.
I just use the Steve. Yeah, I just use the Steve Duda version because it doesn't take up that much CPU. So
yeah, it's a wild thing, and I'm like, yo, there's so much to it. I could just master a track that same way by the time I get what I want out of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Okay, another one. The one thing that improved your mixes the most out of anything for all the mix engineers and aspiring mix engineers.
Purchasing acoustic treatment.
Nice. I mean, obviously, you can see around me the importance of it for me.
Yeah, yeah. Right? It doesn't look like I have any because it's just pointing towards my degree on the wall, but I do have some. But
Physics. It's physics of audio sound waves, right?
yeah, so
That's what's
all
the
that
important.
all that gibberish that the pros speak to you about is real. And the reason your mixes aren't translating in the car is because you don't have acoustic treatment. And you need something
Yes,
like
sir.
VSX. You need VSX or you need to buy acoustic treatment. And I have both. So I feel like I'm in decent shape. I need to invest some more money into my acoustic treatment. But for now though, I'm just enjoying playing my guitar again. And definitely would be acoustic treatment. And I had one of my friends stop by my studio, and we centered my desk in the center of the
Nice.
room.
I remember I said something about that, right?
Yeah, I think
I'm
it's like,
clinically insane when it comes to like the distances and things
yeah,
around
because
the
if you
room. Yeah.
measure the length of your room, I think it's like times 0.38 or something.
38%. Yeah. That's where it should
Yeah,
sit down the end of it, lengthwise, right?
because we had it closer to the wall, but it wasn't picking up any low end. I was like,
Right.
why is there no low end? He says,
Because you're
because I'm not.
sitting right in the null of that room. You know what I
You're
mean?
sitting in the room null, and I was like, oh.
It's just how it
So
is.
and he kind of gave me some advice about studio treatment and things like that. So um
So the
I still
hardest
gotta
thing to
wait.
do inside of like acoustics is soak up bass. Just like you hear clubs leaking bass out of them, right?
Yeah,
It's the
and
same
I
thing
will
there, where
say,
they're just a lot of energy, right?
yeah, for sure. And I will say learning a program like Room EQ Wizard,
Right. To
um
actually visualize
we
what
should
you're
do a
doing, right?
master class on Room EQ Wizard.
Yeah, and
um
taking multi-point tests, just like okay, so I use Sonar Works too to like fine tune the
yeah,
little bits that I couldn't do in my room here. And it gets you to take like 40 measurements around the room in different locations, right? And that's everything because you need to
that's
come up with like
everything.
an average, right?
Yeah, because you can send it to, I think they're called, is it ATS Acoustics, or what's the other one?
There's one
The
called like
other,
Amrock Acoustics, I think, or something too.
I don't
They
remember,
have
but
like calculators and shit.
one of those companies you can send your Room EQ Wizard charts to.
Oh my gosh, what was the
And
other one? The foam company, right? Oralex foam? Is that the
not
one?
Orlex, no. Orlex is, hold on, let me,
There's tons of them, bro. You know the funniest part though? So I got on a call with an acoustician who like fixed Capitol Records and shit like that, right? He came from
GIK
a
Acoustics.
I've heard of them actually.
Yeah,
But
if
yeah,
you
I
send
get
them
on the
your,
phone, bro. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, if you send GIK Acoustics your Room EQ Wizard measurements, they'll send you products based on your measurements, so you're not
Right.
like just thinking,
And
oh, I
they're
need to
building things closer to what I have than
yeah,
just like having a foam like box in the corner kind of thing, right? They have
yeah,
like Helmholtz resonators, they have diaphragmatic absorbers, and they're actually tested to properly like fix those issues, right? And that
oh
was
yeah.
part of like I got on this call. That's what I was gonna say with this guy, and he's comes from a background of like structural engineering and stuff before acoustics. And so like one of his first jobs he had to do was to like figure out how to get like speech intelligibility back in like a big conference room type spot that was a call center in
Whoa,
New York, right?
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
So like figuring out how reflections work at different frequencies and what do you put in the way to stop that from happening desk to desk, right? And so he's
That
like, "Yeah, man, there's a lot more physics to it than just putting foam on a wall." You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah, it is
um,
wild, bro.
that's crazy.
And so now I have these giant bass absorber boxes in the corners, you know?
Hell yeah.
And it's like the whole face moves and sucks up bass with shit inside of it, and it's crazy. It's like a giant sealed box. They're like 300 pounds each, bro.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm kind of scared to ever
How
have to
much
move them,
was
actually.
how much was shipping on those?
Well, see, I built it all myself by hand. So I just bought wood
Oh,
and I actually went down to the docks in Hamilton Harbor, like an hour away from me here, got carbon right off a boat, like activated carbon pellets. Crazy shit.
nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I made it all of everything you see in this room. I handmade. These things took me like 28 hours to make 2 of these things back
That's
here.
crazy. That's a
And
lot of
it's all
work.
glued together by me, nailed together, you know, like we were sitting there with routers and tape measures and just drawing everything out. It was crazy, bro.
I like watching woodworking videos, but
Maybe I'll have to post another one because I have like these things half made in the factory sitting there. And you're like, holy shit, that's what it actually was before that, right? Oh,
that
yeah.
would be cool.
It's wild.
That would be a cool video.
We went and picked up Russian plywood. It's like that double panel. It's got twice as many layers as like regular plywood. And so all this stuff is made out of that too. We went to like Toronto or something to pick that stuff up. Just a big truck, man. Just picked up all the supplies.
Hell
It
yeah.
was wild. Yeah, but it makes all the difference. I can master music professionally now at like Hollywood standards. You know what I mean?
Nice.
That's what it takes. Acoustics, bro. This is what goes into acoustics, right?
Yeah, people think they could just slap Orlex foam on the walls and then realize they have no more high end or mid range in their room, and they're
And the
just
bass
here.
And bass goes right through the foam, just so you know. That's
I had a buddy of mine. He had KRK speakers.
I have a KRK subwoofer.
Yeah, and then long story short, he got some money, and I told him, I was like, bro, you got to get some Adams. I know Eric Iverson is gonna chew me a new one for this, but I don't mind ribbon tweeters. Like I can't mix high end on speakers that don't have ribbon tweeters, so I don't know. Because I'm so used. I have had these Adams since like 2020, so you know, I told my buddy, I said, you've got to get some. I think it was the 77, the ones you can sit on their side that are like $2,500 per.
Yeah, I think that what is it, S series or something like that. Is there 2 X's in the name of it? There's tons of them, bro.
Adam audio speakers.
A77X, something like that.
I think it might be the 77X.
Yeah.
Yeah, A77H.
Okay.
The ones that are like 1,500 per. Yeah.
Yeah, so then you're getting into the territory of like your Focal trios, stuff like that, right? Like the higher.
Yeah, because I
even
used
like
to
the
have
SM series of those, right?
Yeah, because I used to have some Focal Twin 6BEs I got from a friend for a pretty good deal. And we were at an Airbnb and we plugged those into a bad power outlet, and one of the fuses blew on one of the speakers. So we had one speaker for like 3 months. And then at that point, that was around the time my mental stuff was happening. So had to get all my gear back and just really recover for about 2 years before I started making music again. So it's definitely been wild.
Trials and tribulations of being independent, right? That's it, man.
Yep.
No, so that's all I got for you today, bro. It's been a great episode, though. We've talked about a whole ton of stuff people can take with them if they're going to make music, right?
Yeah, I think we can wing it from now on.
Yeah, right? You can just go.
Because there's always stuff to talk about, and you had some good ass segues though. I won't lie.
I work on this, you know. After doing it so many hours, I figured out I can go anywhere, you know.
Like the magic of school bus.
Well, yo, thanks so much for coming on today, bro.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate it. Yeah,
and we got to share your new project and everything, and watch for that when it comes out, right?
I think Racer 1 will be out at the end of March, if I can.
Okay, it's like another month from now or so. No,
yeah, like a month or two. 2 months.
2 months almost. Yeah.
But I still have to get the cover art for it. I don't know what I'm gonna do about that yet, but if you're like a painter or an artist or something, just reach out.
What is with this lately, man? Everybody's having trouble getting cover art.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. It's so wild.
What? Okay, so like graphic designers, pick it up, guys. What the fuck, you know? Like
everybody's using AI to replace.
no, there's this, like a lot of people that don't want an AI cover now, right? Because it's just like churning out the same kind of stuff all the time, and people want specific things for a cover, right? To like tell the story. So it's
Yeah,
like,
because that. I mean, I put so much effort into the storyline. I need to get like a real artist on it. I don't know. I
right.
just feel like my previous stuff is like, okay, like AI art is one thing, but like hiring a human. I have a buddy of mine that paints, and I can use. He's given me a few paintings, but
Imagine a mural version of it. You just take a picture of a fucking wall or something, right?
it'd be like this Racer One diagram, or I don't.
Can you imagine, right? Yeah.
Crazy.
But yeah, thanks for coming on today, bro. Everybody look out for that Racer One album to drop when it does. You got to hear a little bit of it right in the episode.
Yeah, and you got to see a project file too.
Yeah, I always say that. It's like the engine compartment of like a DAW. You know what I mean? Where you like open the
Yeah.
hood, look what's inside of this song right here, guys. You know? And so everybody check out his tutorials where he does that, right? Right on the screen.
Yeah, it's
working inside your
Luke
DAW, right?
Icard tutorials on YouTube, and my
Sorry,
other
say that
social
again?
media is Luke Icard tutorials on YouTube,
Perfect.
and my other social medias are just Luke Icard music. So the only thing different is my YouTube tutorial channel.
And we'll put
So
all the
yeah,
links below here so that everybody can access them.
probably just give you my link tree again.
Yeah, man. And everything will be on there. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, and just before we go today, yo, you might even be interested, bro. I haven't
What's
done
that?
the official video for it, but we're doing an open verse challenge for the Put Up intro song. And it's officially
Oh,
on my link tree downloadable right now if you're watching this and you want to take part in it.
dude.
It should
No
be
lie.
fun.
Like I might do it just because of I got the document, but
There
that's
you go.
wild.
See? Yeah, I'm gonna put an official video out. I don't even know, maybe today even. And it's already on there so people can get it, but nobody knew about it until I just said so. So yeah, I'm gonna do
Well,
a
maybe
couple
you'll
like
get
reels and see what we get, man. It should
maybe
be
you'll
fun.
get some entries.
Yeah, let's see. But yeah,
All right,
otherwise,
man.
have a great afternoon. The rest of it, everybody that's
Yeah,
been
you
watching,
too.
have a great afternoon, and peace out.